Bitcoin safe investment or ticking time bomb? Hey, everyone, it's Top Tuck and let's talk Bitcoin. Is it a safe investment or are you playing with fire? Look, I get it. Everyone's talking about Bitcoin. You see it on the news, your friends are buying it, and it seems like everyone's getting rich, except you. But before you jump headfirst into the world of Bitcoin, it's important to understand what you're getting yourself into. Today, I'm breaking down everything you need to know about Bitcoin, the good, the bad, and the ugly, so you can make an informed decision about whether it's the right investment for you. So what exactly is Bitcoin investing? Simply put, it's buying, holding, and selling Bitcoin to hopefully profit from changes in its price. Think of it like investing in stocks, but instead of owning a piece of a company, you're owning a piece of this revolutionary digital currency. Now, there are a bunch of ways you can get your hands on some Bitcoin. The most straightforward way is to buy and hold. You're basically betting on the fact that Bitcoin's price will go up over time. It's a long-term strategy, but it can be pretty lucrative if you have the patience. Then there's trading, which is way more fast-paced. You're buying and selling Bitcoin in the short term, trying to capitalize on those price swings. Now, trading can be risky, especially if you don't know what you're doing. It's kind of like trying to time the stock market. It's tough and you can get burned. If you're not into the whole buying and selling thing, you can also invest in Bitcoin ETFs. These are exchange-traded funds that track the price of Bitcoin. It's a more hands-off approach, and it allows you to invest in Bitcoin without actually owning any. For the more tech-savvy, there's mining, which involves using powerful computers to solve complex mathematical problems to earn Bitcoin. It's a very competitive space, and it requires a significant investment in hardware and electricity. And finally, there's staking and earning yield. This involves holding your Bitcoin in a specific type of wallet to support the network and earn rewards. It's a more passive way to earn returns on your Bitcoin holdings. So we've covered the basics of Bitcoin investing, but the million-dollar question is it safe? Well, the short answer is, it depends. Bitcoin is notorious for its volatility. I mean, the price can swing wildly up and down, and that makes it a high-risk, high-reward investment. One of the biggest risks with Bitcoin is its price volatility. I mean, we've seen Bitcoin's price skyrocket one day and then plummet the next. It's like riding a roller coaster with your money, and that's not for the faint of heart. Then there's the regulatory uncertainty surrounding Bitcoin. Governments around the world are still trying to figure out how to regulate cryptocurrencies, and any new laws or regulations could significantly impact Bitcoin's price. And of course, there's always the risk of cybersecurity threats. Bitcoin is a digital asset, which means it's vulnerable to hacking and theft. We've seen countless stories of exchanges getting hacked and people losing their Bitcoin savings. And let's not forget about the scams and fraud that run rampant in the crypto space. There are always people trying to take advantage of unsuspecting investors, so you've got to be careful out there. Finally, market manipulation is a real concern in the Bitcoin market, especially since it's still relatively new and unregulated. Large players with deep pockets can potentially manipulate the market and influence prices to their advantage. Okay, so we know Bitcoin investing has its risks, but that doesn't mean you should write it off completely. There are ways to invest in Bitcoin more safely and responsibly. It's all about managing your risk. First things first, choose a reputable and secure cryptocurrency exchange to buy and sell your Bitcoin. Do your research, read reviews, and look for exchanges with a solid track record of security and reliability. Next up, get yourself a secure cryptocurrency wallet to store your precious Bitcoin. There are different types of wallets, each with its own pros and cons. So choose one that aligns with your security needs and tech savviness. Now here's a golden rule of investing. Never invest more than you can afford to lose. Bitcoin is volatile, and there's always a chance you could lose some or even all of your investment. So don't go putting your rent money or your emergency fund into Bitcoin. That's just asking for trouble. And whatever you do, avoid scams like the plague. If something sounds too good to be true, it probably is. Don't fall for those get-rich-quick schemes or promises of guaranteed returns. One strategy to consider is dollar-cost averaging. Instead of investing a lump sum all at once, spread your investment over time. This can help to mitigate the effects of volatility and potentially reduce your average cost per Bitcoin. And finally, stay informed. The world of Bitcoin is constantly evolving, so it's crucial to stay up to date on the latest news, trends, and regulations. Chapter 4, should you join the Bitcoin bandwagon? So, after all that, you're probably wondering, is Bitcoin right for me? Well, that's a question only you can answer, but I can give you some food for thought. If you're someone who's looking for long-term growth potential and you believe in the future of Bitcoin and blockchain technology, then Bitcoin might be worth considering. However, you got to be comfortable with volatility. If you're someone who panics and sells at the first sign of a market dip, Bitcoin is probably not for you. Diversification is key. Don't put all your eggs in one basket, especially when it comes to something as volatile as Bitcoin. Make sure it's part of a well-diversified investment portfolio. And remember, Bitcoin is a long-term game. If you're looking to get rich quick, you're in the wrong place. Be prepared to hold your Bitcoin for at least 3 to 5 years, if not longer, to potentially reap the rewards. On the other hand, if you're looking for quick guaranteed profits, then Bitcoin is not the answer. Investing in Bitcoin is not like putting your money in a savings account. There are no guarantees, and if you're someone who can't stomach the risk of losing money, then steer clear of Bitcoin altogether. There are plenty of other investment options out there that might be a better fit for your risk tolerance. Chapter 5, Bitcoin versus the old guard, which is right for you. Alright, let's compare Bitcoin to more traditional investments like stocks and bonds. Now, stocks represent ownership in a company, while bonds are like loans you give to governments or corporations. They've been around for centuries, and they're considered more established and less volatile than Bitcoin. Now, Bitcoin, on the other hand, is a digital currency that operates independently of any government or financial institution. It's decentralized, which means it's not controlled by any single entity, and it's based on blockchain technology, which is a secure and transparent way to track transactions. When it comes to returns, historically, stocks have outperformed bonds over the long term. However, Bitcoin has shown the potential for massive returns in a relatively short period of time. But remember, with higher potential returns come higher risks. In terms of risk, stocks are generally considered riskier than bonds, but less risky than Bitcoin. Bonds are generally considered less risky than stocks, and therefore offer lower potential returns. Bitcoin, however, is considered a highly volatile and speculative asset, which means the price can fluctuate wildly. When it comes to regulation, stocks and bonds are heavily regulated by government agencies, which provides investors with a certain level of protection. Bitcoin, however, is still largely unregulated, although that is starting to change. Liquidity refers to how easily you can buy or sell an asset. Stocks and bonds are generally considered highly liquid, meaning you can easily buy or sell them on exchanges. Bitcoin is also relatively liquid, but it's important to choose a reputable exchange with high trading volume. Chapter 6. The final verdict: is Bitcoin safe? So, after covering all of that, is Bitcoin safe? Well, it depends. For long-term investors who are willing to hold their Bitcoin for years, it can be relatively safe, especially if it's stored securely. If you believe in the long-term potential of Bitcoin and you're willing to ride out the volatility, then in that case, Bitcoin could be considered a relatively safe investment for you. However, for short-term traders who are constantly buying and selling, trying to time the market, Bitcoin is incredibly risky. The price swings can be brutal, and you could easily get burned if you're not careful. Beginners especially need to be extremely cautious. Before investing any money, take the time to educate yourself about Bitcoin, how it works, the risks involved, and how to invest safely and responsibly. Don't fall for those scams and schemes that promise you'll get rich quick. If something sounds too good to be true, it probably is. Remember, there are no shortcuts to success in investing. Ultimately, the decision of whether or not to invest in Bitcoin is a personal one. There's no right or wrong answer. It all depends on your individual circumstances, your risk tolerance, and your investment goals. Outrow Bitcoin. Dive in or stay safe. So there you have it, the lowdown on Bitcoin investing. It's a fascinating and rapidly evolving space with the potential for both great rewards and significant risks. Remember, knowledge is power. The more you know about Bitcoin, the better equipped you'll be to make informed investment decisions. As always, I'm not a financial advisor, so please do your own research and consult with a professional before making any investment decisions. But hopefully, this video has given you a better understanding of Bitcoin and whether it's the right investment for you. If you want to learn more about Bitcoin, investing, and building wealth, be sure to subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any future videos.